Hey everyone, and welcome back to FSI DFS. I am McKinley412, and today we're going to be breaking down the Saturday main slate on Draftkings. It's a larger slate, and there are two games that we have to be paying attention to with the weather, and that is the Kansas City versus Chicago White Sox game and the Coors Field game. Both games have around like a 30 to 50% chance of rain, so I think both of them still get in. But you never know if there might be a delay or a pop-up shower in any other game. So make sure you're paying attention to the weather there. So with that kind of out of the way, let's just turn right to the pitchers here. Trevor Bauer right up at the top, 11K. You're just going to be putting him into all your cash lineups and don't think twice about it. He's clearly the best option on the slate here. He's got a favorable matchup. The 11K salary is scary, but I think you would just have to plug him in there. Aaron Nola right below him, he is not going to be very highly owned at all. He is a GPP play at best, just because of who he's playing against, where he's playing. He's in that small ballpark down in Florida that is just allowing a lot of home runs. It's allowing a lot of runs in general. Strong offense with Toronto. I know they let us down last night, but it's 20 mile an hour winds blowing straight out again. So I think that the bats are going to be heavily in play in this game, and Nola is a GPP play at best. Rodon at 10K. He's been great this season. He's day-to-day here, it says, but he will be playing. He was having a back hamstring issue, but it's not the shoulder arm issue that we were worried about in previous seasons with him. So he says he's good to go. I think he's going to be good to go here. He's got a phenomenal floor. You can just kind of see what he's done here. He faced against the same Kansas City team just last week and put up 30 DK points. So I think he's great. One thing you do have to pay attention to, though, is the weather. He is in one of those weather concern games. So you really don't want to be paying 10K for a guy who they start the game and then they have an hour delay in the third inning and he gets pulled because they don't want to send him back out there. So make sure you're paying attention to the weather in that. If you don't like Rodon, you can go down to Ian Anderson, who is just kind of like a knockoff play for him. You know, he's slightly weaker in every single stat area, but he is cheaper and he is in a more favorable matchup as well. He's got a great strikeout percentage so far this season. So I think he's a fine play going up against a Milwaukee team that strikes out a lot. So if you're scared of Rodon and the weather there, bump on down to Anderson, no problem. These next guys in the 8K range, I have no interest in. Next guy to talk about really is Drummond. He shut down Baltimore earlier this season. It was kind of his ceiling game at 29.4 DK points. You're not going to be expecting any more out of him there. It's currently where I think his ceiling is. I think he's more in that 15 to maybe 22 range on a good day. But at 8K, I think he's somebody you have to be paying attention to. He won't be in my cash lines at all, but I mean, if you need the savings, I can understand the play there, just with his matchup and the floor that he can provide. Paddock, he's not the Paddock from years ago that we fell in love with. His salary is way down this season, but it's for a reason. He has not been pitching well. And when he is pitching, he's only going a couple of innings. He's rarely getting into the fifth inning here. So you can kind of see in his game logs here, 3 innings, 5 innings, 5 innings, 5 innings, 4-4. So he's not pitching deep into games. He has been struggling. So at 7-7, just bump up to Drummond for pitcher there at 7-9. McKenzie, I think, could be popular. He could be popular with his 32% strikeout rate this season, but everything else about him is not DFS friendly. He does not pitch deep into games here, and that's because his pitch count skyrockets because he pitches so many walks. Okay, so he got 4 walks in each of his past 4 games, and when you're only pitching 2 to 4 innings, that's more than a walk per inning. That's terrible. The umpire behind the plate tonight in this game calls the most walks per game on the entire slate. So he's an extreme hitters ump. So when you got a guy with walk issues going against a heavy walk umpire, regardless of Seattle being a bad or a lower tier offense, I'm off of McKenzie tonight. I'm going to be actually targeting him, but we'll get to that in the bats. Minor, left-handed pitcher going against an all right-handed Chicago White Sox team. Not interested. And really everybody below him, it's gross. It's not too great. All GPP darts at best. Francoff and Chassin, I didn't know you could go below 4K at pitcher, but here we go. Both of them got priced at 3.9. If you desperately want that much savings to just load your bats like crazy, go for it. Just be aware that they can give you like a -10 score. But if you're fine with them risking the -10 for a possible 5-6 points out of them, that's great. That's great. But for me, I'm going to be sticking near the top here with Bauer, Rodon, Anderson, Drummond. That's kind of like the guys I'm going to be focusing on for my cash builds here. For bats here, I'll give you 3 teams that I love. First team is Philadelphia. They're going to be a very popular team this season. They're going up against Anthony Kay. Kay has really struggled in his career. He doesn't have a large load of work to go off of, but he has pitched 3 seasons here in the majors. And lefties during that time have hit 354 against him. So guys like Harper at 5.3, even Herrera, I believe he's only 2.4K for Philadelphia. Let me scroll down. A little too far there. Yeah, Herrera, 2.4K. He bats lower in the order, but again, lefties hit him hard. But Philadelphia overall, they are not that pricey. They're in an extreme hitter's ballpark tonight with 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out against a terrible pitcher. So guys like McCutchen at 4.2 leading off. You have Segura at 4.7. Baum 3.2. I mean, they have the value is there on this team, and the implied run total is there. Like I said, they're going to be chalky stack, but it's for a good reason. You're definitely going to be wanting Philadelphia in your lineups tonight. The other team that I'm going to be targeting here is going to be the Chicago White Sox. Chicago, like I said, they can field a lineup of all right-handed batters, and they're going against a lefty in Mike Minor. So absolutely love that. Chicago, the White Sox, they are the best team far and away against left-handed pitching in the majors. So far in the majors, as a team, they're hitting 312 as a team. 312 against left-handed pitching this season. Second place against left-handed pitching as a team is batting 285. So they're close to 30 points above second place in team batting average against left-handed pitching. Their on-base plus slugging percentage is near 900. Their ISO is at 200. Their WOBA is near 400. And this isn't just individual. This is as a team. They destroy left-handed pitching. So I love the White Sox here. And again, they have value. Madrigal could get the second spot in the lineup tonight. He's 2.6K. Vaughn, we've seen what he can do. He's still 2.3. I don't know why. He bats lower in the order, but still, he's a great value play. It allows you to jam in all those studs like Anderson, who has the power. He also has the stolen base upside. Moncada, he's batting third, or could be batting third. 4.2. This is the best hitting team in the majors against left-handed hitting. They can load them up with all right-handed bats. They can hit for power and home runs. They can steal bases. They can string things together. You definitely want the White Sox in your lineups as well. And the third team that I'm targeting, and I kind of hinted at them earlier, and I think they're going to be very, very low owned tonight. So I think you get them as a great GPP play, and that's Seattle going up against McKenzie. McKenzie has a 250 ISO against lefties, so this season and last season. So lefties hit him hard. Seattle is cheap. McKenzie allows a lot of walks. It's a hitter's umpire tonight. It's a late game. I mean, all the things are going in favor of the Seattle bats and for them being low owned. Your one lock on the slate tonight, and that's if you stack Seattle or if you don't stack Seattle, it's KELENIC. He's the #1 prospect for Seattle. He is batting leadoff for this team. He's got that lefty-righty matchup. I just mentioned lefties are hitting a 250 ISO against against McKenzie. So you absolutely just plug him into your lineups here. Even if you're not playing Seattle as a stack and you just want to one-off him, do it. He's clearly a top play here. Excuse me. Sorry. So yeah, so KELENIC clearly the lock on the slate. Don't think anything more about it. But I also love a lot of the other lefty bats here. SEAGER at 4-4. I think he's a great play. He's batting top 3, I think 3rd in the order. It's kind of where he's been lately. JP Crawford, he's a lefty as well here. But also the other guys in the top of the order, like Haniger and Lewis, they're in the 3K range. They're cheap. They're in a hitter-friendly environment here, or with a hitter's umpire. McKenzie, he struggles. He's going to be walking a lot of guys. They're going to be getting on base. You have the stolen base upside with Seattle as well. They can string together some hits. So to recap everything that I just went over, pitchers for cash, even for GPP, like plug Bauer in. Clearly the best pitcher on the slate. Nola, GPP at best because of his matchup and the park that he's pitching in. Rodon, pay attention to the weather. If you're not concerned about the weather, clearly your second best option. If you are concerned about the weather, bump down to Anderson there for a little cheaper. Drummond, and I think is another solid play for cash because of the matchup and the floor that he can provide, but he does have a limited ceiling. Everybody else, I'm not too interested in. McKenzie, I think, will be a little bit popular, but he has got a lot of walks. He doesn't go deep into games, so I am completely fading McKenzie there. As for bats, Philadelphia going up against K, who is a struggling pitcher in this league. They're in that strong ballpark for hitters. I think Philadelphia is your top stack of the day. Chicago White Sox, #2, just with all that they can provide, going against a lefty in Mike Minor. They're the #1 hitting offense in the league by far against left-handed pitching. So Chicago White Sox, #2. And for a GPP with the bats, give me Seattle going against McKenzie. So that kind of wraps things up. Drop a comment below what you like, what you don't like. Who are you guys going to be playing tonight? I'd love to see what you guys are interested in. Hit that thumbs up button, drop the like. It really does help us out, giving you all this free content and with making these videos. So do all those things. Good luck in your contest tonight, and I will see you in the next video. See you, guys.